Okay, so we're just about to attempt putting all new components on the gear linkage on Greg's Spider. The gear linkage on the Spider is very sloppy, to the extent, actually, as you can see in this image, it's worn through the aluminium in the tub. It's really in two components: an element at the rear end, which is on the gearbox, which has these components in, shared with a lot of the Renault family, the Megane and various others. So a fairly easy part to source, not the easiest to fit. And then obviously the gear linkage at the front with the lever itself. A bit different to remote linkages on a lot of other cars, because this uses the structural strength of the chassis. It only has one bar that comes down. There's a plate that's bolted into the centre of the chassis. The main gear lever coming through with the bush here, and this is the one that's majorly worn. Also the spring on the bottom of it, which centres it and returns it and allows you to twist it for reverse, is getting quite worn as well. There's then a linkage at the back which keeps the rod solid and obviously braces all this together, which you need to get off to access all of this, but we'll see that in the video as we move forwards.
So yeah, take that one out, replace said bush in there, and then yeah, not needed.
Yeah. So there you go, fitted the new rear linkage. That was absolute pain. The bush was totally corroded into the aluminium, so I had to pull it out. But a brand new one in there, certainly feeling much tighter, so onto the front now. So this has been a real challenge. The gear knob, in theory, from Renault is sacrificial, but we managed to apply 550 degrees of heat, quench it, and then we could actually undo it with a left-hand thread. So that's all off and hopefully can go back on in a good state. We've now fitted the new bushes to the shaft, new spring on the shaft as well. That's all in and clipped in place. So now, okay, so we managed to rebush the linkage. That was quite tricky. So basically there's a bar that slots on underneath with a circlip underneath which you need to get off. We also made the schoolboy mistake. The spring that goes in the bottom fits like this, but actually you need to wind it back on itself to preload it to return for the exhaust, and we hadn't done that, so it was actually in the reverse position when we were in the normal drive. So I had to come out again for a second time to turn this round and preload it, put it back in so it gives the loading on the spring. The new bushing is very, very tight in there, meaning the gears are much closer. So yeah, good job done. Okay, so we're back at the Renault today. It was a bit tricky, got it in yesterday, but the bush is very, very tight. So to get it into reverse, you're having to really grip it and the spring's not returning it. So we're going to take the bush back out, put it in a bolt and a drill and just spin it down a little bit to make it a little bit looser so that the return spring works properly. So there we go, back out. This has a little spring clip that has to come off and spin round underneath, quite awkward. Tap this off the casing and then tap the gear knob through. It's this little bush here which is slightly too big at the moment that we're going to take off. There's a pin that you have to drive through that to take it out. You can see the top mount and how that all fits together then with that pin at the back. Come out.
Might need some editing, this mate. This might need some editing. I'm not sure it's going to make the best televisions. Oh yeah, that's not bad.
Still tight.
Still tight. That's the thing, it's going to get roasting, isn't it? needs a bit more. Once it's greased up, do you reckon it'll make a difference on that, or is it still a bit too? Put it next to the old one now and find out this is smaller.
Yeah. That's lighter.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'll go for that.
That's it. Nice job, sir.